Hello, everyone.
Hi, welcome to Marital Hate.
This is Marital Hate.
What episode is this?
82.
82? Oh, God.
82.
You are not Mike Tyson. Stop trying to be him. You want to be black.
No, I don't want to be black or white or anything. I just want to be a human being.
That sounds suicidal.
And sometimes I don't.
You want to be a human being?
I just want to be a human being, yeah.
I don't know that you really are a human
Like
being.
the Elephant Man.
Okay, so we have a podcast. There's no one watches.
We had two watchers and now we got none.
Zero.
Thank you.
We have a podcast. We call it Marital Hate. We don't hate each other. It's live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. If you comment, no matter where you are, you may not see other people commenting, but we can see your comments and we bring them up on the screen because we're really happy that you're here. And even if you're not catching the live show, you can comment later and we will interact with you as we did with Tracy this morning.
But if you're dead and not live, we can't reach you.
I don't know. I've been doing a lot with the tarot cards lately.
Really? Yeah, you have. Yeah.
Would you have a Ouija board? We could Ouija board that shit up.
Ouija your ass back down to earth, people.
So I was all like prepared to like so today. What did you do today?
I did a little work on project stuff, which I was very happy. I got a lot done. I had a meeting that ran long on that project, and then I cleaned some of the house because we wanted a nice clean house.
That's not why we want a nice clean house.
Why did we want a nice clean house?
My friend Dave, who I have been friends with for a bajillion years, was coming to visit.
Bajillion.
Well, not a bajillion. Since 92, I think. We're fucking old as fuck. And I believe I actually showed the picture of a young David on the podcast one night.
It was unauthorized use of that
unauthorized use. I also had a bad
It's now
perm.
illegal.
I had a bad perm from the 80s, and Dave had hair. So, that is not something I even remember, quite frankly.
Wait, did Dave have a bad perm or?
No, but he had great hair. But like, I think he looks better now. I think that some things get better with age, and Dave is one of them.
Wow.
So anyway, we're like, I'm trying to straighten up a little bit, and like, I can't do that much, so I was straightening up around the house a little bit, and I'm like, oh my god, it's so hot in here. And I'm like, oh, fucking hot flashes. And come to find out, when Doug came out, he was also hot. And it was very much not a hot flash. The air conditioning shit the bed.
Well, it didn't shit the bed. It just was running behind. It was set at 70. It was 77. It's usually dead on. But I don't know if it couldn't keep up today or there was a thing. So I did all my troubleshooting tips that a professional has instructed me to do.
What's that?
And what's that?
Zach.
Would you like?
Zach.
Yeah.
No, tell people because they don't know. Because people have problems with air conditioning and they don't fucking know.
Well, first things first. Well, it could be one of several things. So first things first, I checked the exhaust coming out of the top of the fan unit outside, and it was blowing warm. Then I felt the pipe going into the house, which was cold. So I ascertained that it was what? Operating properly. Then I used the shop vac and sucked out some water from the pipe to make sure there was no clogs. And there was no shutting off from there, which was probably an extra step I didn't need to do, but some more water came out and that was fine. And then so the thermostat itself, the batteries are fine. It was working properly. And the house is now that the heat of the day, it was a real feel of like 115 here today was what it was. Cause I did.
We live on the sun.
We live in Southwest Florida, about 3/4 of the way down the state on the Gulf Coast. The water temperature is about 90. In Miami,
it's more than that.
In Miami, it was 89. So I'm assuming that we have a couple
No,
degrees
it's way
on that.
over 90. Water temperature in Sanibel.
We'll go with the nearest nice beach.
Sanibel today, 87.1, which our pool is 90. But for some reason, it feels warmer when you're in the ocean.
Yeah.
But I think
usually the ocean is warmer than that.
I think the pool cage gives you a fair amount of like cooling. Like I don't get sunburned out here usually. Like unless I'm out here all day, I don't get sunburned.
Yeah.
But
anyways,
Donna's here, and she says, "Donna, what's up? Hotter that the holy gates of hell. I'd never live there. And when you go in the water to cool off, yeah, no, it feels like you're swimming in piss.
And you can't cool off.
But
that's all right. Shark gonna eat you anyway, or you're gonna die from some flesh-eating bacteria.
Gonna eat us. No, we're not gonna die of a flesh-eating bacteria. You have been watching too much of the news.
But I will say this: moving from Massachusetts, being a Western New Yorker, et cetera, it's not that bad. It's bad, but it's not that bad. It's not.
The only time it's bad is when you're breathing soup. Like when the air
Yeah.
feels like fucking soup, and you're like right now, it's a little soupy.
Soupy, but I don't mind it because when I go inside, it's going to be that much. More
It's actually
comfortable.
cold when we go. When by the end of the podcast, we actually turn our air up to like 74 because by the end of the podcast, we're fucking dying.
I did not turn it up.
But if we're not in the pool,
But
it's not as bad.
Yeah, usually we go from the pool
If we're
inside,
not,
and it's
no.
it's a little crazy.
Side note, but this year, it's as bad here as there, but it's almost done. Well,
you guys got a lot of rain.
The difference between here and there, God love y'all, is we have air conditioning everywhere. Like everything's
my
air.
pants are air
Like
conditioned.
you need
right
to
now.
bring. You have to bring like a sweater with you because it gets so cold in
I
places.
do when I go to Costco. I usually bring and then they have the cooler. And when you walk into that cooler, I don't know what they keep that.
You were
produce
so
cooler.
excited about the Costco cooler yesterday.
I was because I had it was there was a lady that came out that was
She was
rather
cold.
She was a little cold.
and it made Doug's day. Donna likes her AC like frostbite, so you gotta suck that bitch out of the thing. It helps.
But Donna, you also complain when it's cold up there, so I've seen it both ways.
Donna's an angry person.
Donna,
That's why
if
if I ever go to prison, I'm going with Donna.
why? Because she's angry.
She'll protect me.
She's proactively.
Or Macy
angry.
down the street, but she's only 2, so I don't think she's going to the same prison as me.
She's going to children's prison.
I
Children's
don't
max.
know what children's prison is, but
I
I
just
will tell
invented
you,
children's prison.
Donna hates snow. I gotta tell you, I
Be
feel
good
like
for your parents' kids, or else you're going to children's prison.
I don't think that's how it works.
I'm making it up right now. I'm making new laws for the world.
That's great.
I might run for president next year. Donna says she needs to live where it's 70 all year round. Why don't you?
Which is Hawaii.
Why don't you just move to the Braintree Mall because it's 70 there? You just live in the mall.
Dude, what are they gonna do with like mall? Like it was funny because I talked to Nolan the other day and he was going to the mall and I was like, "You're going to a mall? Like, are malls still a thing?"
Actually, West called me texted me the other day, said that Emerald Square Mall was still open, and that was a gigantic 3-story multi.
I remember going out to Emerald Square back in the day. Many a time. As a matter of fact, on my way home from the hospital with my youngest daughter, we stopped at the Emerald Square Mall to get dinner, and we got our dinner for free. I have
Charlie's. There was Charlie's there.
That's
for a
where it
while.
was. Charlie's.
Yeah.
So which I love. They had a bread bowl with clam chowder in it.
Interesting. But, all right. So there's certain things. Yeah. Don't.
Tracy's here. Hello, peeps. So we have a package by our front door.
Yes, we do.
From Tracy, which is not the package from yesterday, which was 2 tank tops. I'm wearing one of them right now.
Oh, good thing. Because otherwise you'd be.
I was like, don't open
flopping.
that package. And then the other one came today.
And it was unmistakably.
Thank you. Yeah, it was
a gift.
It's so beautiful. I can't wait to open it. And Donna says, I think the Galleria Mall closed. And that's Taunton. Yeah, the Silver City Gallery in Taunton. I think
No, you can't. Who are you talking to? There's nobody over there.
There's no one here.
There was a bunny there for a while. I don't know,
We
probably
saw
an
some
hour.
owls. Okay, so I went to the Christmas tree shop. Look at this little Christmas tree shop price tag. You want to say that?
Oh, did you peel it back and to find out that we paid too much for the closeout item because they did an expose on Channel 5.
Holy shit, they did.
Yeah. How much was it?
$1, and
was
they marked it
$1,
up to
and they marked it-
$1.99.
That's what was and then they marked it back down
so
10%.
fucked up.
Help me, Hank. We need Help Me, Hank on
Look
this
at
thing.
Look, $1.99. If you look, you can barely see it, but it says
It's
$1. Those motherfuckers. Anyway,
because there's a big thing about it because like people were like, like I don't know what, like blinds for your house or whatever. They were marked up $10, all this stuff. And there was a Help Me Hank thing on channel. Well, it wasn't Help Me Hank, but it was a big expose on Channel 5 about it. And yeah, it was not.
People
I don't know what the
fucking
hell's
suck.
going on.
so this is what happened to me. I went and bought this, which just makes me so happy. Jelly Belly Juicy Pear sparkling water. So it doesn't have, like, I'm sure that there's some beaver anus in it or something.
Beaver anus.
Yeah, that's what they use.
The
for
best part of the beaver.
Natural flavors is the beaver anus.
I don't know why I say
Not to be confused with the delightful film Zombievers that I loved. And Bill Burr was in that? Yeah. Is it Bill Burr who we saw the night we got engaged?
We did. Yeah, we did. He's very funny.
So anyway, it's carbonated water and natural flavor. So beaver anus, but there's no sugar, there's no sodium. It tastes like pears.
Little do people know that beaver anus tastes exactly like a pear Jelly Belly.
Perhaps.
Like, what did they go around picking up certain animals and like licking their anuses and saying, that tastes like pomegranate? And they put the shrew down.
I have total strangers contacting me on the internet to tell me that they'll lick my asshole all day.
Hey, if
I
your
can't
ass
see
tastes like
why
a pear
people
Jelly Belly, sign me up.
Well, here, give it a lick. Let me know. What? You don't want to lick my asshole?
That would be a
It's
live
clean.
lick. That would be a live lick on the stage.
Well,
Anyways,
I want to finish my Jelly Belly story.
Okay.
So the Jelly Bellies. Oh, we have comments.
Hmm.
I know, fucking rude. Tracy agrees. Yay for new tank tops. 2 for $14.99. Built-in shelf bra. But if it gets cold, you can see stuff.
It's about $7.50 a boob.
I don't even know what to say about that. The biggest boob of all is free. He's here every night. Tracy says, how flipping rude, right? I don't know. I have strangers that are willing to lick my asshole, but my husband doesn't want to know if it tastes like a juicy pear or not. That's fucked up. Those assholes are closing, so screw us all. Okay. Oh, the mall. Oh, okay. I can see that. And then Tom's laughing about beaver
Tom
anus.
is a big beaver anus
So my
fan.
story about
his new band,
Jelly Belly Pear, is that when I worked at Bath and Body Works in the Silver City Galleria back in the day, and I had to stand in the mall and fucking wash people's arm and then rub lotion on them and shit. And
she's an arm washer.
Some of my friends would wait in the mall for me until the wee hours of the night, and security would come and yell at them. We were selling juicy pear, and as part of a corporate promotion, they sent a champagne bottle filled with Jelly Belly pear jelly beans, and I ate the fuck out of them.
Can you get just a single flavor?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, apparently. So anyway, I love them, and I did enjoy the pear lotions, but I don't recommend using anything with fragrance in it unless it's natural fragrance like essential oils. Right. And Donna says Christmas tree shop's closing. Yes, the one here literally opened like what, 2 months ago?
Not very
It's already
long
closing. Ago. It's already closing. No Christmas tree shops are closing. What ass hats?
Yes.
And there's a random guy behind you. What? There's a random guy? Oh my God! Where did a random guy come from?
I'm telling you. You're just busting. You're just kidding with us.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You see dead people.
Donna,
there's nobody here.
Have you been hitting the pipe?
Yeah.
Not the crack pipe, the marijuana pipe.
Some sort of pipe.
And I hate jelly beans. It's a texture issue. Well, you don't have to have jelly beans. You can have it in a liquid form, marked up.
Or just get yourself a pet beaver. Wait till it falls asleep.
Lick its asshole. Lick its asshole. Yeah. How many beaver assholes have you licked? You drink seltzer every day. That means you lick all the beaver assholes.
Well, it doesn't say that there's beaver asshole in this.
They're never going to tell you this is beaver asshole. Natural flavor is usually beaver asshole.
Yeah.
How does a beaver? I don't even know. How do you even come up with that shit?
What beaver?
I come up with some crazy shit.
Well,
especially when I'm high, and I'm not high right now, contrary to popular belief. And I'm definitely not hallucinating, and there's definitely
that's right. You get yeah.
Poor Trace can't have anything sparkling anymore. And Donna says, "Nope, I saw a man." Donna saw a man. She said he might be there to lick your ass. If there are any men here to lick my ass, please come forward.
He's in the pool now. What the hell? You're fucking talking about? There's somebody here. It must be CGI. So, we'll fix it in post.
So today, my friend Dave from like 1992 was coming to visit from parts of New England, parts unknown, and he's a big storm guy. He loves storms. He's like, oh, you think we'll get some lightning while we're there? And I shit you not, I'm in the Jeep, no doors. I have a bikini top on, but no doors. I'm going over the bridge to Fort Myers, and it's fucking raining sideways into the Jeep, and it's like that stingy rain, and I am laughing my fucking ass off. I'm so happy because Dave's coming. Counting Crows, Mr. Jones came on, which we talked about last night, and Tracy says, "Hey, Dave," and then Tom says chocolate Cheerio. I think that's a racial slur you cannot use to call my friend. But maybe I will call him chocolate Cheerio.
For some reason, I wish we had like Tom on like a little thing up in the side, because he comes in with the zingers, like the
well, he's the one where he came out with the
like
master haters. Yeah. So in any case, I go to the airport. I make friends with a lovely woman who's directing traffic there. She let me stay because she didn't want me to go outside and get struck by lightning. And she has four children and one grandchild who she raised, and they're spread all over the country. But the one in Utah is still single. She's going to Chicago soon to babysit her grandkids.
She can get some sister wives.
Yeah, and so I told her all about my friend Dave, and she was so excited to meet him. But then he was at Arrivals. He
sounds hideous.
He was at Departures, and so I had to run up to Departures, and then more storming. So there was more storming. We did not die on the way home, but it was fun. And yes, he may or may not be in Florida right now. I have no idea.
I gotta look around.
Hello, Dave. Maybe he's a decent beaver asshole. You never know.
I don't know. Yeah. Daniel says good evening. Hello, Daniel.
Daniel was he's got a jazz fest coming up, and he was rehearsing last night.
I'm not fancy enough to play jazz.
No, you are not.
My dad was a big jazz guy. He was a big Miles Davis fan.
What is? Do we decide?
Played trumpet.
Did we decide what? Did we
50s.
decided? Did we decide what Dan plays?
No, I think I want to say he plays guitar, but he could play any number of instruments. But I do know where you can get some free PA equipment today at in Brooklyn.
What are you gonna do with PA equipment?
Oh, it's free though.
Just because it's free doesn't mean it's for me. I don't even know what you're talking about. Actually, I like free things. I have a little bit of a headache again.
Really?
And it's already
Really?
8:16. And you guys must have a headache from listening to me fucking talk. Oh,
well.
my potty mouth.
Well, I don't think it's. Why do you internalize? Why are you so negative on yourself? Why all this negative self-talk?
How is it negative self-talk? I have a headache.
These people have a headache too because they're listening to me.
Oh, I get shit about it 24 hours a day, so I own it. I'm like, okay, I talk too much. I understand. I can accept that. I'm willing to.
Well, you do talk.
I do have some flaws, believe it or not. I know it's hard to understand. I have some flaws. Would you like to hear them? I'll give you the full list.
Well, I'll tell you the first. Parts of you do not taste like a pear Jelly Belly.
You don't know. Get down there. Lick it up.
What are you, Paul Stanley and Kiss?
No, you're Paul
Lick
Stanley.
it
Yes,
up.
stick your tongue out. Or it's Gene Simmons. Why don't you show them your tongue?
That's gauche.
I didn't say whip your dick out. I said whip your tongue out.
It's also gauche. He plays rhythm and lead guitar.
Marion Blues Festival in Ohio. If you're in Ohio, check it out and check out our
For
friend
Frank
Daniel.
Boyd Jr. and the Bonafide Truth.
So if you're in the Ohio
Nice.
area, you should go and hang out with Dan and his band.
Um,
He's the only white guy.
Is it bluesy or is it like funky or is it both? I wonder. I don't know.
I'm
It's
going to
a
be
blues
looking forward to it. I'm hoping
I
there's
don't
going to be some clips online that we can check out because I'm really looking forward to it.
Yep.
Yeah,
I would definitely like. I would like to see.
And we're trying to figure out if my friend Dave ever shows up. I don't know where he is.
Fucking guy.
And I'm trying to tell him things that we could do while he's here.
Mhm.
And I'm like, what do you want to do? And I'm like, we could go to Sanibel. And like,
we have a pool. We could go in the pool.
he could go in the pool if he could find it. I don't know if he can swim. Maybe he needs some sort of if I could find Dave, he would need some sort of a strange apparatus to swim around the pool with. Did you put my...
Yes, I did because I was trying to clean up today. I'm sorry, my wife just gave up on the podcast. She just leaves. He plays a '52 Fender Esquire Funky Blues. That I can get behind. Have you ever taken your pick guard off to see if the hole was really routed there for the second pickup? Because that's pretty cool. I'm a big fan of the Esquire. And I imagine a '52 Esquire is probably a rather valuable instrument that I don't think I'd be taking at gigs.
You know, I just realized
What's
I
that?
have a nice rack.
Oh yeah, and it tastes like Jelly Bellies.
My tits taste like Jelly Bellies?
They're shaped like Jelly Bellies, very large Jelly Bellies.
That would be a very strange shape for a tit. A Jelly Belly shaped tit? You need to see a doctor for that shit. The random guy killed Dave.
Yeah.
It's funny that you should say that because one of my favorite things to do with Dave is to watch horror movies. And I was thinking about, I was telling Christina on his way here, I was like, oh, this is perfect. It'll be a storm just for when Dave arrives. She's like, well, hopefully not while he's in the air. And I'm like, no, he would love that shit. He would lose his fucking mind. He would love that stuff.
So Daniel says he has 2 SD humbuckers. That's probably a good time.
Is that what you call them? Humbuckers?
Yeah, they're humbuckers.
They're like more like triple D humbuckers.
Well, SD
maybe
means
E
super
humbucker?
D. It's a super D.
C
more D. I watched a little YouTube mini interview with Steve Cropper talking about why he played the Telecaster, and he was like,
stop,
"Well, all I could
Tracy had the perfect
afford."
response to that. That's what she said, Daniel. That's hilarious. Okay, so
anyways, so Steve Cropper started with the Esquire, and then he said he wore it out, and then he bought a Telecaster, and now he plays like Peavey or something because the mid range is like cut through the entire band. Anyways, Steve Cropper. That's.
So, do you have any specific topics you wanted to go over tonight?
Do I want to go over certain topics?
Yeah. The fucking Powerball that we didn't win last night.
The Powerball, nothing.
I was trying to pick my friend up at the airport with his new Lamborghini, but no,
that did not happen.
Sadly,
but instead we get some random guy.
But we did have tacos.
We had some nice.
And my friend Todd, who I have not talked to all week, and I really need to check on. He's a
Todd. Are you okay, Todd? Ding, ding, ding.
No, and I think everybody thinks I'm mad at them because I'm being a shitty friend lately, but it's just been It's just been one thing after another, and now we have Dave, and then we have a week of quiet. Then we have the kids.
Dark.
Then we have 2 weeks of quiet. Then we have Zach. Then we have a week of quiet. Then you're off to Massachusetts,
and I'm not going to be quiet when I get there, folks.
There's something on the ground under the. Do you see that?
This
What's
right
that? Is that some sort of dreadlock
Some sort of
apparatus?
dreadlock apparatus. Thing.
I'm always shedding like beads and shit out of my dreadlocks.
I
I had a piece of hand blown glass bead.
Keyword blown.
And it broke. And I had another one that we left in New Jersey at a hotel. Makes me so sad.
Interesting. Tom says his friend went to Ireland and took the neck off his telly and put it in his suitcase and put it back together later when he got there.
Oh,
that's amazing.
I wouldn't do that. That would make me nervous.
That's for those of you that have screw-on necks. I have a set neck on my number 1 and number 2.
I don't even know what the hell.
But I do have a Telecaster thin line, which is delightful, which I would like to fit with a B-bender.
Trace says, what the actual fuck that we didn't win.
Yeah, I know. We're working on it. There were 3 people from Massachusetts won the $1 million prize, but none of them were us.
George is here and he sent something. It's a link.
We don't know what that is, George.
We don't know what it is.
We can't click on that from here.
We can't click on that from here. You can probably click on your page, but the better thing to do would be to click on it from your Facebook. Facebook.com. Stop.
Sorry.
So, Douglas, Doug Gear.
That's my name.
George, bear with us. Did he comment on the marital hate page?
He always makes it difficult, this guy. I want to talk about Telecasters again.
Okay.
But no, we have to talk about George's link.
Well, I'm going to pull up George's link. You keep talking about Telecasters. It's going to take me a little while to figure it out.
Which I want to take my Telecaster, which is a thin line, and get it outfitted with some sort of B-bender thing. And I think it will probably make the guitar, the apparatus will actually cost more than the guitar is worth. So, but I'm going through this whole Clarence White thing. I kind of want a B-bender now. I don't know what's happening. So I have to fake B-bender.
One of our favorite guitarist wives.
Yeah.
And friend to the
she's
show.
Going to bed.
And she's going to bed. It's past her bedtime. It's 8:23.
Wild woman.
Our wild
Randy
woman.
Rhodes, wild woman over here.
Our chiropractor is going to sleep for the night, but she said hi to everybody. That's all that matters.
Well,
hey, Christina, we love you.
It's a cop out.
It's not a cop out. She has to go to sleep so she can get up at the crack of dawn tomorrow and get her workout. And she's got a Peloton. She's got to have her morning coffee. They go for their walk on the beach. They have a whole little system.
It's a system.
They might go snorkeling.
You know what system we have?
To go snorkeling. Yeah, Doug sleeps in while Stacy is wide awake.
Yeah, that's a good system.
I don't know where maybe George commented on my wall.
I don't know. Well, it's not that important because
how can you say that George is not that important?
If it was important, we would have been able to play the link.
Oh, here it is. Okay, hang on. Let's see what George.
All right, let's see if and you guys can tell us if you think George has shared a funny.
Why do you have so many goddamn tabs open? Okay, so we are going to click on here.
Hopefully you can see that.
Oh, that is a man covered in bees. And he's how we feel at work most days. George, I don't know how to tell you this, but you're a mortgage broker.
Yeah.
Did that actually show up on screen? It did not show up on screen.
No.
Hang on. So I have to share this screen and not that screen. Bear with us. So here's a man covered in bees. He's not having a very good day right there. And it's how we feel about most work days. And I just would like to point out to the world that George is doing something very, very wrong in his business as a mortgage broker if you're getting attacked by bees. The sun is
it's a weird greenage right here.
So
heard about greenage.
Last night the sky didn't look the way it looked in person. It's like it's got like gray and blue and green and clouds and streaks, but on there it just looks like a big old blur.
It's like Louis Armstrong.
And people are having delusions that there's a man in the pool. I don't
Red
know
roses too.
No man in the pool.
I have my things.
What are you singing?
I was singing Louis Armstrong.
Oh, okay.
You said we have clouds of green.
Wait, George, do bees attack you in your office? Like, is it because the mortgage rates are so high that you feel like you're being attacked by
bees attack you?
There's a big.
You could be the bee-free mortgage guy, where you say, like, you come here, I can guarantee you will not be swarmed by bees.
Well, interestingly, the guy that owns our house had offered to hold the note for us, And that's a great move. If you have a property you want to get out from under right now, and you're in a position to hold the note, go for it.
George wants us to move to Holden so we can hang out.
I do not want to move to Holden. It is cold there.
Well, not cold today.
Although I do like George.
I do like George.
George is delightful.
George and Sandy. I probably like Sandy better.
Wow.
Sandy is George's lovely wife.
I like George and Sandy. I'm looking.
But George makes me food when I go there. So that's all.
They both make us food when we go. We go there and they feed you. Go to their house. They're Greek. They feed you.
Sandy's got the dogs and stuff, and it's just a lot of noise that I don't.
You just said you like Sandy better than George.
Well, I'm trying to think.
Pick your favorite. I like them both. I like them for different reasons.
It's a tie.
I like Sandy because she's the Grace to my Frankie. And I like George because he's like sweet and thoughtful and funny. I don't know.
So George says sometimes
you forgot how to work your computer.
Sometimes the end result doesn't always work out.
That's true.
Yeah. And then he wrote doesn't, and then he wrote does not.
Yeah, we get it. We know that you can't spell. None of our friends. You're all half in the bag and you can't form a sentence. Like we know what you mean.
I don't see anybody, Donna.
There's nobody in the pool. What the fuck are you talking about?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Donna, lay off the weed.
Yeah.
Actually, speaking of weed, I think I should be having some weed right now. And if anybody is in the pool, they should have some weed too. The man in the pool must have drowned. No, I hope the man in the pool does not drown. That would make me sad. So we have a gift from the OG Lesbies that we have not opened yet. We're gonna hold it for what? So 18 more episodes?
Something like that. 18 more.
Wow, I didn't count that out. Hang on. So this is 82.
When is that?
I'm gonna count it out. You talk about something. Talk about more about your guitars. Blah 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 blah.
Because I don't know if anybody
84,
wants to hear
86,
about
87, 88,
my
89,
love of the Telecaster.
90, 91, 92.
But it is a stout. It was a stout. Actually, Tom should own a Telecaster. There's the Brooklyn Telecasters made from 150-year-old wood that they took from these mill buildings I'm dropping his name. The guy that has one, guy that played with on Hot Rod Lincoln. I forget the guy's name. I'm Facebook friends with him, and I'm killing myself that I don't remember. He has a Brooklyn Telecaster, but back then the wood was denser, so he's got the slab. And I actually was thinking that if I ever have to get rid of my dad's desk, I'd take the wood, bring it to a luthier, have it all glued together, make a slab, my dad's desk Telecaster.
If you wanted to get rid of your dad's desk and have it made into a Telecaster, I would support that. But you will never have to get rid of that desk. I will always find a way to drive that fucking thing across the fucking country. Thank you, Dr. Gear. I'm a little offended that we have such a sturdy piece of furniture that we've never fucked on top of, but that's a whole other story.
Day ain't over.
Would that be rude to your dad to fuck on his desk?
Well, it might be weird. I don't know.
Do you think
we fucked on that desk? I don't know. Probably.
Your mom?
I don't know. I don't know if my parents were freaks. The hell do I know?
You would hear them, wouldn't you?
I don't know. It was office had a door on it.
Did you ever hear your parents having sex?
No, never.
You never heard your parents having sex?
No.
I heard the first night I lived with my dad and my stepmom, I heard them having sex. It was so creepy.
Well, that's kind of...
George has indicated that the man in the pool must have performance anxiety. And then Trace has commented, haha, balls away. I do enjoy the random balls flying through the air is always a good look for us. And Donna says, you guys have heat stroke. She's really adamant that there's a man in the pool. I don't see anybody. I don't see anybody. No.
Look, there's the pool.
Why does the beach ball keep going past? It's the Florida weather. Shit just goes flying all the time. I don't know what the fuck it is.
I think it's those Cuban frogs that are trying to escape from Cuba. Tom has a made in Japan first year they imported it. It was $250. Well, I have a Squire Proton thin line, which is actually nicer. Like they stopped making it because it was as good, or if not better, than the tellies that their Fender was putting out of their factory.
Feel my tattoo.
I can see your tattoo.
Look at that. How weird is that? I have like a Braille situation going on with my tattoo.
You're gross.
I'm not gross. I mean, I am, but
you're not gross.
You haven't licked my juicy pear asshole. How the fuck do you know?
Well,
I'm calling Kyle.
All this talk is
AKA George
is making me interested in Jelly Belly situation.
I don't even know what to do with you today. I want to go in the pool.
Well, you want to go in the pool? Go in the pool. I'll just sit here and pretend that you're not in the pool.
It might be fun. Well, what could you possibly talk about without
I
me?
could talk. I could talk about.
You talk about
Telecasters all
guitars.
day.
We'll watch everybody sign off.
I could talk. Well, you know what? I would talk to people and what is their favorite guitar. So I would talk about what I have an opinion that there is one guitar solo that's better than all others on the planet of all time. There is one quintessential guitar solo. Look, she's like leaving. My favorite. Well, I could list some good guitar solos, some great guitar solos. Apparently, the man in the pool. I don't know who this you're talking about. Is molesting flamingos. Well, that's happened before. Donna, what's your favorite guitar solo? Do you have a favorite guitar solo? My Sharona is a pretty good guitar solo, and very underrated. The thing goes on forever. It's like one long guitar solo. And Mr. DNA, Mr. Kamikaze, Mr. DNA by Devo has got two guitar solos. One played on a LeBay 2x4 with the whammy bar, and Bob One throws it at the end of the song. One of the greatest live acts you'll ever see. You guys don't care about this. I'm just going to keep talking. I'm just going to keep talking about my. So, anyways, my Once Bitten. Oh, Tom likes Once Bitten, Twice Shy, and that leads me to one of my other favorite guitar solos, Milk Train by the Rousers, one of the great guitar solos of all time. Which is one of my go-to riffs when I go to a guitar center, and I'm like, yeah. But my all-time favorite guitar solo, which I think is one of the perfect guitar solos of all time, is.
I forgot I just pulled something putting my swimsuit on. That's why you swim naked.
She pulled something putting her swimsuit on, and here comes the lovely with the swimsuit. Do 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 do.
I'm trying to get Harpoon today.
My favorite all-time guitar solo and the perfect guitar solo of all time is "Rock Around the Clock" by Bill Haley. It was performed by a guy who I forgot his name, but he died shortly thereafter playing the solo. He died in some weird way. Would you stop throwing things? I'm on a podcast. She's so disruptive. It's insane. Jack Black was killer in the movie School of Rock. Jimi Hendrix playing the national anthem. Well, that was more of a song and a rendition than a solo. It was good. I wouldn't, but it's the Prince thing on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame thing. But nobody, I knew that he was that good of a guitarist, but he served notice that night. You kidding? Throwing that down on that Hohner Telecaster, Mad Cat. You just, oh my God. There's several punk solos that are fantastic, and there's even one note solos that are fantastic. So. Tracy says any AC/DC solo. All right, so here's my thing with AC/DC, and I'm going to share my thoughts on that because she left me to my own devices. AC/DC back in the day, couldn't stand them, thought it was dumb, big balls and dirty. It's all repeated. Now here's my thing.
Why don't you like big balls?
The song Big Balls. I'm talking about the song, not actual big balls. I'm not a big fan of the testicles in general. You're not on. You gave up your podcast rights. You gave up your podcast rights.
It's too hot for a middle-aged woman to be standing out in the fucking sun.
Well, try not being a middle-aged woman then. How's that?
I'll get a sex change.
Yeah. How about you go back in time?
Like my
Jelly belly asshole. And he was AC/DC. Used to couldn't stand him. Now I listen to that just the sound of that guitar. I got to give him props just for the tone of that guitar sound. Do I like them? Not exactly, but I do have newfound respect. Now, other groups that I used to not like that I like now, Def Leppard was a guilty pleasure of mine, and now I love me some Def Leppard. I've seen them in concert, and they were fantastic, and they've done some covers and some songs, and I can't get enough of them. They're syrupy, sweet, and rocking at the same time. I kind of dig it. Kiss, he's really probably the sloppiest guitar player on the list. But I went to see them in 2000. Yeah, it was like 2000. Had second row seats, and went with my friend George. And Ted Nugent opened the show. Ted Nugent can play. Say what you want about whatever. I don't give a crap. But the dude can play, and he has a style. And so then Ace Frehley comes on. I swear to God. Ace got better as the show went on. I think he forgot how to play, and then halfway through something wore off or something, and he could play. But he's he has this weird way to pick the strings. He kind of gouges at the strings. So anyways, but I do like it, and every song had a solo. So like as a young guitar player, you gravitate towards that. Oh, all right. So here's the thing: the darkness. I think each guy, even the drummer and the bass player, play black Les Paul customs. I love that. It's my favorite guitar. Yeah, and the darkness. Actually, the sitar, electric sitar solo on One Way Ticket is probably one of the greatest pieces of solo ever recorded. And they have a lot of good stuff. But they, yeah, you put Sweet and and Black Sabbath on a blender. That's what you get, the darkness. It's fantastic. Was this the show when Poison opened for? No, I have not seen The Poison. It was Ted Nugent and Kiss, Great Woods 2000 or whatever it was called. Yeah, and it was it was one of the many times I've seen Kiss, and you just keep going back for more. And yeah, I can't explain why, but how do you turn that down? Now the Nuge is playing not too far from here in the near future.
Yeah, why are we going to that concert again, Doug?
Because it costs money.
No, we had freaking free tickets
to Nuge.
Remember, I said we have credits on Groupon. Do we want to use them to go to Ted Nugent? You said I've already said Ted Nugent. I don't want to. I've
already seen Ted Nugent. Why do I need to?
I would like to see him. I haven't seen him, and we did a Swamp Buggy tour instead.
We went on Swamp Buggy.
The Swamp Buggy was awesome.
Yeah, Swamp Buggy through the Everglades or Ted Nugent. You make the call.
I may be popping a titty. I don't even know.
You've seen one. You've seen them both. That's a beautiful sky right there.
Well, we just had lightning.
Metallica. See, all right. So here's my thing on Metallica. I kind of miss the Metallica boat. I am not. I don't. You like? Do you think a couple of their songs are good? Right, Metallica.
I see. I can go either way on Metallica.
She can go either way on Metallica.
I like some of their songs. I feel like the Metallica one video is my life.
Are they the ones that did that Never Land?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Never Land.
I was never like people that there were people that were into Metallica like crazy, and there were people that were into Ozzy like crazy.
Yeah.
I was not like neither of those. I was
neither.
Always, like Beastie Boys were like always my jam.
Beasties. As we call them, Beasties.
I used to be a huge Beastie Boys fan. I listened to Madonna when I was young.
It's
then,
quite nice.
Everclear.
She's a big Everclear fan.
But like, if you basically look at the Lollapalooza lineup, that's
Lollapalooza lineup.
I listened to like a lot of gangster rap. Like that was.
She liked gangster rap.
I listen to gangster rap to this day. I listen to old school rap.
She does. We bust out some old school, especially "Tricky" by Run DMC is one of our Jeep favorites.
Probably my favorite is I mean, I like Rapper's Delight.
I don't know if you can hear this. She likes Rapper's Delight. The Message is one of the great songs of all time.
One of my favorite tunes, but you know, I like anything that I know the words to.
She likes things.
I mean, right now, my favorite song, truthfully, is Perfectville, and every time I fucking hear it, I cry like a bitch. So.
Well, she cries like a bitch when she listens to my music. That's how painful it is.
But it's I do not have an exclusive license to Perfectville, so if somebody wants to buy it for their television program, I'm your girl.
Tracy says she loves some Everclear. And you know what? The band that we saw down here was we saw Buckcherry, and I knew nothing about them, and I went to see them, and I'm like, that's a half decent rock and roll band.
Tell them the Everclear story, because the Everclear story is awesome.
I will tell them the Everclear story after I tell them that one of my all-time favorite guitar solos, California Man by Cheap Trick, which was a cover of a song by The Move, but that guitar solo has all you need a guitar solo to do. It starts low and then it climbs up and then it comes to a conclusion. It's very good. It's that's up there. That California Man, so good. And so anyways, it's the Everclear story is a Buckcherry is amazing. Yeah, they were honored. They're singing about cocaine and stuff, and you gotta like that. That's like a real rock and roll band. And the guy was playing a ES 335 custom, so I had the binding around like kind of the Chuck Berry guitar with the binding black. It was I couldn't take my eyes off the guitar. Cheap Trick, actually didn't see them until probably like 7-8 years ago, and I'm like, why did I wait this long to see this band? Absolutely fantastic. Cheap Trick trivia: 2 of them were in a band called the Grim Reapers that were due to open the show for Otis Redding. Otis Redding's plane crashed that morning, that afternoon, so they did not make it. So that poster, if you guys have that poster lying around, It's worth a goodly sum. Anyway, so when I met Stacy, she was really into Everclear. She had seen them a couple times. She had jumped up on stage and danced with them in her youth, and so I kind of knew of them. I knew their songs. But I clearly wasn't into them. But I liked what I liked. Father of Mine and stuff like that. So, anyways, so we went to see them. We went to see them at House of Blues, and we went up and kind of talked to him after the show. We were getting married in a couple weeks, and so I said to the guy Art, the leader of Mr. Everclear himself, Art Alexakis, I was like, "Hey man, my wife's my fiance is a big Everclear fan. Can you play my wedding? I'll give you like $200."
Oh my God,
and he sort of shook his head. And as he walked away, I said, "Strummer would have done it." And then so the next time we meet him, I apologize for that because I was like, "Look, last time you were here, I told you we were getting married and all this," and I told him the story. And he kind of laughed. But anyways, so Stacy, kind of told him that, like, "Look, it was hard for me to get out of bed to come here. Thank you so much, whatever." And so then we went to see him at City Winery, and he was doing like a little gab fest afterwards. And he was like, "Oh, I remember, yeah, I remember," because he got sick. So with I think he might have MS or something like that. Fear the Reaper had some nice chords. That had like the classic open string jangle. That was a good open string jangle song. And of course, the cowbell, which if you have a fever for cowbell, you should probably take Advil. Is what you should do. Highway Star. I mean, that's an insane guitar solo. I'm commandeering this. You know why I'm commandeering this? Because Jesus.
What?
That's not Stacy.
What's not Stacy?
The guy. That's not Stacy.
There's no guy in the
holy
pool.
crap! I don't know what the hell is going on. Highway Star.
You've ever been able to talk on the podcast?
Yeah, it actually is.
Do you like it?
Well, I'm trying to remember, like, because had I been prepared, I could have written down what guitar solos I wanted to talk about. So now I'm just kind of thinking of guitar solos.
Did you tell the
on the
Everclear
fly.
story about how we saw Everclear the
Yes.
weekend we got down here? Okay.
Yes. Oh, and then all right. The end of the Everclear was that we moved to Cape Coral, and I said I want to go see. I'm in Florida. I want to go see a Gator show. So she looks up Cape Coral Gator, and this place showed up, and it was called Gator Mike's. And Gator Mike was Mike Greenwell, who played for the Red Sox in the 1980s, the Gator. And apparently this story came out. Mike Greenwell wrestled an alligator because he was from Florida or something like that. I don't know if he did it, whatever, but he was always called the Gator. So he opened a mini golf place called Gator Mike's. Well, Mike Greenwell a few years ago had sold the business, and now he's a produce farmer and sells produce. So she looks up Gator Mike's, and it's like, oh, this Saturday is the Saturday after we moved here. Everclear is playing, and it's like 2.5 miles away from this house right here. We moved 1,500 miles. 3 days later, Everclear plays here. Insane. It was like an insane, and they've never had a concert there before. They haven't had one since we went to the show. And what was cool is that they had 2 local groups opening the show for them, one of which was very bad and made me sad. And then another one was very good. And I forget what their name, and Stacy knows their name, but we supported them, and they opened for Buck Cherry when we went to see them at a different venue. So we're supporting local music down here, and I'm trying to make local music in my on my Mac, but it's an infection, is what it is. But I wish I could talk to you guys about fisting and things like that. I don't have that gift of fisting gab, I guess, that people are looking for. But I think I should just put the computer down here and let them talk, because I'm running out of guitar solos.
We'll talk about something else. Tell them about your penis.
She wants me to tell you about my penis. I have a penis. I've had one since I was a baby, a little baby, a tiny little baby.
That sounds creepy.
I had a penis when I was a baby. I take it everywhere I go. I go places with my penis. It comes in handy, especially if I'm in the woods and I gotta use the bathroom. I can use a tree. I can use a bush. I can use a bottle. If I'm in a crowd, If I'm driving down the highway and I got a Gatorade bottle, I can use it, and I can ride around with comfort. I can, but
What are the comments in this thread? My friends.
Tracy's chiming in with some stuff. I am more of a Corvettes person than a guitar person, but I appreciate music and a good guitar school. Matter of fact, today.
Wait a second, Corvettes. You didn't talk about George and his Corvette.
Well, my friend George has a Corvette. I don't know what year it is, but I think it's probably early 2000s, early mid 2000s. But he likes it, and I'm happy for him. And today, I actually was on YouTube, and I went down a rabbit hole of listening while I was doing some stuff. Jerry Seinfeld in cars. He would like take people to go get coffee, and some of them were really, really funny. And then one of them, he pulls up to the White House, and this is an old one. He pulls up to the White House in a silver 63 split window vet to pick up Obama. So he and Obama are trying to get out of the White House, and the Secret Service won't let them out. So they turn around, they go back in. So they go down to the kitchen of the White House and they're talking and stuff like that. It was really funny. And so then they come out, and Obama wanted to drive. So he gets in the driver's seat, peels out, goes back. Same guy turns him around. He's like, "Sir, I can't let you out," which was pretty funny because he's goddamn president. He can do whatever the hell he wants, especially drive a 63 and a half split window vet. Tracy says that she learned how to drive on a Corvette. It's her dream one day to own a Corvette.
She just bought an F-150. They cost a small fortune. Why didn't she buy a Corvette?
So you could have bought a Corvette versus your fancy truck. Stacy says that's not being a friend. You should support your friend's need for a truck.
Keychain is transferable. You can put it on whatever car you want.
You can take that keychain. Oh, lightning alert! Lightning alarm! Everybody out of the pool. But look, it's still like 4 miles away. Look, the dot is where we are, and that big manatee-looking looks more like a log of crap than anything else. Anyways, so we're good. We're not going to die. Inflation on Corvettes is crazy. Yes, especially in a 63 split window. It's a little crazy. Maybe just get one that's rotted out. Has like, oh wait, they don't rot. Never mind. How about you could get a Chevette that's like a vet. I took my driver's license test on a Chevette. We're down to 2 viewers now. I'm not doing well. We're down to 2 viewers. We're down to 2. We're talking to, it did look like a log of crap. Yes, it did.
Is George still there?
I think George flew the coop.
That's bullshit right there.
What?
I was on, he told me to shut up. And now he's not even listening to you.
I'm sorry, you're not even on the podcast, and yet you're still talking.
Okay, I can be quiet. You said you were losing viewers.
I am. We're down to 2, but sometimes you're down to 2 when you're talking about books that you've read and things like that.
I was really people were into the book thing, but then they're not. I don't know. So I need to ask our viewers.
Yes.
2 of them.
Well, our 2 viewers. What do you want to see?
Do we continue our ongoing book tirade, or do we not do the book?
Do we do the book segment? She says the important ones are here, which is true.
I don't know. I don't see Tom.
The book. Yeah, the book segment.
Ann, I don't see Charlie.
Yeah.
Yes, Tracy's there. That's important.
Yeah.
Milmore's there. That's important.
Yeah, we could just call you guys like on the regular phone.
Yeah, we could save ourselves the aggravation of going on a podcast.
Yeah, but would that be awkward if we just called you? Hey, we just want to talk about fisting.
Uninterrupted for 2 hours.
I don't want to talk about my penis and fisting for a half an hour. But it's awkward when you call a guy or a woman and you start talking about that stuff. When you're in a public forum, it could be known.
Never had a conversation with Charlie.
But Charlie's not here either.
I understand that, but Charlie calls me all the time to talk to me about fisting.
This is like somebody like just tuning in like to Marital Hate. They're like, oh, they really do hate each other. She's gone. She's gone, and she's got a guy in the pool. God damn it! What the hell?
That would be so weird. He's like my brother.
There's a guy in the pool. I have.
Also, I'm married to you. Right?
You are married to me, and I'm sorry for that because that's not okay.
Why are you sorry?
Oh, John loves Kiss. Everybody who doesn't love Kiss, they're just terrible. Their music is just terrible, except for Detroit Rock City. That's a good song, and yeah. Well, but they did something nobody else. Alice Cooper did it. I guess you can't say that. No, Donna's still there. Donna's.
Donna loves you.
Yeah, Donna
actually
said John loves Kiss.
Donna will never let me be mad at you.
Yeah.
If I'm ever mad at you, she jumps to your defense.
Well,
I don't know how stupid you're being. She loves you.
thank you, Donna, for supporting me and my efforts to be a upstanding person in the world. The other, if anybody has a question, just ask it away. I can ask the lady in the pool.
What questions could you possibly have?
What questions we could ask about you?
My kitty's gonna pop out of this dress while I'm trying to pop out. What do you call it?
I think people just tuned in early for. I think people tuned in early just to see the sunset, and now the sunset's kind of waning. It is starting to get dark here. It's getting dark in here. So take off all your clothes. See, I have all this like stuff that I want to talk about on the podcast, but I'm not prepared. One of my things on the podcast that I've been meaning to talk to is I have a theory. I have theories about. I want to be in a cool pool. Maybe I'll come in November. We're not home in November, Donna. When nobody's home. November. We have to check our calendar for then. One of my ideas for the podcast would be I have this theory. When you go to a restaurant, there's always like one dish that you can order that will tell you if it's a good restaurant or not. And for instance, give me a Chinese food. If the Chinese food can't master a good fried rice, you know you're in trouble. There's a lot of go-to things, and I will share a little bit of advice. Hang on. Well, I'm going to catch up. Highway Star is amazing solo, along with Zach Wilde playing Crazy Train. See, I'm not into the Aussie stuff. I don't like that widdly diddly stuff. And as Elliot Easton once said, and I'm not saying it's probably a great solo. I'm not that familiar with it, but I will say, Elliot Easton once said, if you're playing notes so fast, you can't put any feeling into them. And so that's why that widdly diddly stuff doesn't really impress me. Whereas I'll go back to Prince at the Hall of Fame ceremony playing While My Guitar Gently Weeps. You can listen, you can feel that hurt in that first note, that like he bends that note for a while. It's just like, yeah. So anyways, that's my thing. But Highway Star is kind of a cheat though, because there's two guitars playing. Well, it's probably him playing both parts, obviously, but who's, and he can play. So anyways, so Highway Star is played on is a harmonic situation, two guitars. Thoughts on Mazzy Star? I've been revisiting their music. I don't know if you've ever seen my cover of Mazzy Star.
Oh my God, it's so good.
Fade Into You, done in the style of Otis Redding. It's on my videos. If I'll find it, I can play it for you. But people are telling me that I need to record that version because it's pretty. And I agree. I think it actually came out pretty good. So maybe I'll record that one day. Donna, the pool will not be cool in November, maybe January, February. It gets down to in the 60s, but it's still tolerable. You can still do it.
It's not tolerable for people. Well,
Frank says the same thing. Yeah, see, Frank Boy Jr. knows his crap. What? No, what? I don't know what oh yeah. I did that.
60s in November.
Yeah.
Tell Donna. Well, I think any time before December, the pool is still tolerable.
Yeah. Pool's tolerable until like mid-December. Yeah.
It gets cold,
but it gets cool.
You
fool around. The Mazzy Star thing. I could pull up the Mazzy Star thing.
You should pull it up. It's awesome.
And maybe play it.
Can you pull it up and talk at the same time?
Well, I could probably do that. I am here. I have to look for my videos. 1 minute, folks. Talk amongst yourselves. I'm going to find this. Doug does Mazzy Star. I don't know how to find videos. Videos right here. Boom. My videos.
Oh, I didn't know it was on your Facebook.
And then I can go through scroll. It's here somewhere. I have a lot of videos because here's one. Is this it? I know it's in the dining room. Hang on. Oh, wait. All right, hang on. So I got to come back here. Hold on, folks. This is all right. So share screen. And I think it is. No, that's not it.
Did I say Facebook?
Okay, Facebook window. I'm going to share that, and hopefully you can hear this. Okay, this is me doing Mazzy Star Fade Into You during the pandemic. right, enough of that.
That's
That
brilliant.
was me during the pandemic,
Absolutely brilliant.
love
it.
singing and playing. But if you go on my videos and sift through all the Buffalo Bills videos, you'll find it. That's me. And hopefully it was. I all I can hear on that clip is that I needed new strings. The strings were just dead.
We were at Guitar Center the other day, and you didn't even buy strings.
But this, I'm talking about the strings that I had during the pandemic.
Well, you should have bought strings then too.
I probably had them, but I don't like changing my strings. It's just anyway. Yeah.
I don't even know what to say about that. Like you saying.
But I look good though because I had the beard.
I
No, I don't. What's that?
I'll come over there.
She's all right. She's coming over. What are you saying?
This is my something to say.
Yeah.
You as a guitarist saying I don't like to change my strings would be like a woman saying I don't like to change my tampon. You gotta fucking do it. Change your fucking strings.
I need a guy to do that. I need a tech. Anybody want to be my guitar tech?
That would be like me saying I need a tech to change my tampon string. I don't have a uterus. I don't menstruate anymore.
Donna says she hated the beard. She hated the beard.
Andrea loved it.
Andrea loved it. She thought I looked like a Civil War soldier. I hope I was fighting for anti-slavery at the time, but who knows? I mean, anyway. Okay, troublemaker. I bet they had fake news then. Yellow journalism.
You don't understand.
Oh, I do understand. You never start an argument with you don't understand. She's the worst. She really is. Wait, first of all, you have a podcast. You abandon the podcast to go play with your man in the pool.
I'm not playing with a man. There's no one here but me in the pool. But it was very hot, and I told you I wanted to do the podcast in the pool, and I couldn't.
Well, it was raining when we came out here to do it.
Then it stopped raining.
Yeah. Would you like to do the podcast? I will bring the computer down there, and you can have an equal time.
You have something to talk about. Make some friends.
I don't. Well, our viewership is up. Maybe I should play more of my my musical songs.
Maybe you can get your guitar and play some music.
No, that would be gauche. I'd be like begging for it.
We talk about fisting half the fucking time. You can't play your music.
Daniel changes his strings every Friday. That's insane. Oh my God. I just I would love somebody to come and change my strings every Friday. It would be great.
Change your own freaking strings.
It's kind of tedious. It's kind of
tedious. Would you like me to learn how to change guitar strings and do it for you?
Make some new friends, Marital hate. I was trying to make friends at the cooler at Costco last night, but it wasn't happening. I'm kidding. Every Friday, but you play a lot though. I mean, you play like throughout the weekend, and you're playing. Tom hasn't changed a string in over 3 years. I think I still have the same strings on my my black guitars than when I moved here. So and we played a gig just prior to that. So yeah, probably close to 3 years. That's not, but the acoustic, I pick up the acoustic a lot. And I play the acoustic more than I play the electric. So they're thud. They're kind of thuddy. But you know what I want is a nylon string guitar. I don't think you have to change nylon string guitars because I want to do some Jerry Reed picking and a grinning. Amos Moses is what I want to be doing. But I think well, wait a second, Tom. You haven't changed it, or it hasn't been changed. That could be two different things. But then again, I don't know. And then strings are weird. People like strings. Billy Zoom actually bought every pair of strings he could find on the market. Tried them. He put the same string across all 6 strings so he could hear the tone of each string. And he found, like, I think it was a GHS, some rare thing that they don't carry in stores or whatever. I'll look it up, and if anybody's interested, just private message me because I'm going to find that. I wrote it down somewhere, and but he did the research on strings. I have never found a set of strings that I really, really like. I've tried the coated strings; they suck. There's no high end on them. Regular, and I don't know. I can't really tell. You can change nylon strings every other Friday. See, that's more my style. Or you break the nylon strings because you're picking and a grinning, playing a little claw action. I'll take the ones used to hunt people. Strings that hunt people? I'm not sure what you mean, Donna. So if anybody, you guys have a good string brand that you recommend, bring it on. I heard there were only 2-string factories. Wow, that actually makes sense because that's a pretty specific thing. Well, this is good. Theories, musical theories. 2-string factories. There's probably only one guitar factory. They just have different stickers that they put on them when they come out. Although I do have a Chibson. I shouldn't admit this, but I do have a Chibson, and I put the Gibson, I think 195, something like that in them, whatever the spec was for the 74 Steve Jones model. It's I would say it's playability. It gets you about 80-90%. It gets you close with the Chibson, but I know you get good ones and bad ones. And I'm more of a feel guy than a inspect every angle of the wood and all this stuff. Necks. Oh, okay. That's good. She's picturing strings and now for arrows, like a bow and arrow. I mean, they got to make those somewhere too. But I believe those are some sort of weird nylon. There's some sort of prehensile tail nylon. I hate those D'Addario colored string ends. Ruins every pick I see. They have the colored strings. Like somebody as a gift gave me the black strings that are like, I think they're tape wound or something like that. In this colored string, I'm like, if you have to resort to colored strings, you should maybe pick another instrument. That's just my way of thinking. But you know what? The one thing I do, I have an acoustic bass, and it's just very clicky. And someone told me to get the tape wound strings for that, which actually kind of makes sense because you'll get a nice thud out of it. We have an owl making his presence known. I don't know if you heard it. I think that was owl. All right. Well, we'll let you know if it is an owl. D'Addarios were always kind of, although I think D'Addarios are better now than they used to be. But yeah, I need Ernie Ball regular Slinky. That's kind of the go-to. Everybody goes, and I actually tried. I can't remember the name of the company now. It's Clear something Clear View or something like that. It was Phil Everly's kids from the Everly Brothers it was called Everly Music, and then they put out this coated string that lasts forever. And I wanted to like it because I'm a big Everly's fan, but the strings were just like, they were just coated. They just didn't have the bell quality that you need. But yeah, I think Ernie balls are good. Actually, the Clash used Ernie balls, and that's good enough for me. But yeah, every time I go, it's like it's all confusing. Oh, this is cryogenically frozen, and then so they'll last longer, or whatever, and then your body chemistry won't get in there and all this stuff. But it's insane. But I do know from a fact that if you're a teenager, you have a different body chemistry that will actually corrode strings faster. Slash too. Slash is a dude. I use Fender Bullets 10s and Martin 10s on his Larrabee. Fender Bullets. Didn't they have they didn't have like the little rivet end, but didn't they have like a bullet shaped end? It was like a thing that was problematic this is way back in the day, probably like early mid 80s when they came out. That's interesting though. I've never heard anybody that liked Fender Bullets. Maybe I'll try some Fender Bullets and I'll give a little review. I'm not too, I'm asking you guys about it. But I used to break strings like mad. I would get sharp spots in my bridge, and it was awful. It was, and I had that same problem with my Ibanez, which had like more of a Floyd Rose. You drop the string in, put the screw in, and tighten it down. If you tighten it too far, then you get but I got graphite saddles for the telly, which deadened it a little bit, but I didn't break no string. But I'm gonna have to do something if I ever get the B bender on that bad boy, or maybe I just win the lottery and buy have Gene Parsons put in a B bender again a nice telly from one of the Brooklyn tellies. So I'm trying to what is the guy that did Hot Rod Lincoln? What the hell is the guy's name? It's Kirsch. What's the guy's name? Bill. I have to know. No, it wasn't Bill. It wasn't Bill Dixon. I know that. I know what he played. It was what the guy's name? You guys, Bill Kirchen. Bill Kirchen, and Bill Kirchen does the Hot Rod Lincoln, but in the middle he plays every like famous guitarist: Freddie King, BB King, Billie Jean King, Johnny Cash, Roy Orbison, and he goes on down the Yardbirds, the Sex Pistols, and it just keeps going down. He plays a little snippet. I don't know if you guys ever heard, but it's Hot Rod Lincoln by Bill Kirchen, King of the Telecaster. He's fantastic. And Daniel says the best acoustic strings were Guild, but they are not made anymore. I punished my electric strings and never had a problem with the bullets. Interesting. I'm wondering what kind of saddles you have on that. Do you have like the yeah, I guess you would have that 2 strings to a what do they call that? A trapeze saddle? That would be Commander Cody. Yeah, that's right. So he played for Commander Cody, and now he's out on his own, and he does this version of Hot Rod Lincoln. That's outstanding. Thomas seen them. Yeah, the Kirchen. It's funny too because he looks like Bob's your uncle out there, and he's just playing, and he does it all. So. My cousin Deborah is a harpist. All right, my cousin Deborah. All right, can I just say this? Super talented doctor, probably the smartest person in the family. Present company exclusives. I'm a harpist. We have to worry about 47 strings and break and go out of tune. I played a harp once, and it was like a bucket list item. It was just fantastic. I didn't know what the hell I was doing, but oh my god, that is an amazing instrument. I didn't know that you played. That is fantastic. Yeah, that's a lot of tuning. I would imagine that. Well, those have those like kind of piano tuner, like Allen wrench things. I would think, right, to tune them. But once that's involved, that's a big metal structure. If that heats up and cools down on the way to your performance, yeah, I never even thought of that. 2 strings times 3, yeah, the old saddle. So, but Danny, you know what I'm talking about? The old Clarence White B bender that is now played by Marty Stewart is in his custodial care. It's just they drew it up and they invented it back in the days of the Byrds. I think my cousin Deb does cooler things in life than with her doctoring than playing harp. But I didn't know that, and that's fantastic. I thought I got all the talent, Deb, in the family. Humidity, yeah, yeah. It's crazy. Well, you should bring it down here. It'll go way out of tune on your way. I actually, I'm a graphic designer, or was started as a print designer. And I'm a creative director. Back in the day, we printed a brochure for a museum in Bermuda. And so the first run we printed up here, up there in Boston, sent it down, and they got to Bermuda, and the thing just curled up like it was alive. And so the next run of the thing, we had to find a printer in Bermuda, so the water content in the paper was already in the paper, and it wasn't absorbing it. So little graphic design fact for you guys as you go. Tracy says, the Eagles have a lot of good guitar sessions. All right, so here's the thing. I love Joe Walsh. I love him as a guitar player. I think he's a cool guy. You can keep the rest of those Eagles and their music. I'm not a fan. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm not a big fan. I think what it is, I've just heard them so much. I've just heard those songs over and over and over, and it just sort of becomes wallpaper after a while. But Joe Walsh, yeah, I'll give you Joe Walsh. Joe Walsh is the man. Archduke says, "Congratulations, Doug. Solo broadcast."
Fuck yourself, Charlie.
I don't know if you heard what my wife said, but it was not a nice thing. It was not a nice salutation.
I'm gonna give him a salutation right now.
Yeah, all right. So Stacey wants to give you a salutation, like double fisted. Yeah. It was it was double fisted fingers, is what it was. Daniel used to have a Gretsch White Falcon. Until his wife had a temper tantrum. That makes me very sad, because I actually would prefer a black Falcon, but the White Falcon is equally as good. That makes me think about the hurricane that we just had down here last September. In one of the wreckage pictures was a 1970 Plymouth Superbird that was like upturned and in the rubble, and it made me sick to my stomach. So this also makes me sick to my stomach. I am so sorry you went through that. I'm sorry the world went through that. And Tom, Rick Nielsen has a beat bender that was in Lennon's position. I didn't, and took it a while back. I didn't know that was a beat bender. I thought it was just some hammer or something. It was missing a pickup or something. I didn't know that was a beat bender, because I read about that as well. And I've seen a picture with Lennon holding the guitar. Rick Nielsen, underrated guitarist. He just can play, and he might be a little sloppy because he's playing with the thing around his ankles, or it's got 7 necks or whatever. But Duke can play. Tracy, talk about eagles flying at midnight for Charlie. Hi, Charlie. Um, and then the Archduke has to say, normal reaction from Stacy. Why is she hiding in the pool? You know what? She's hot and sticky. Meh. Yeah, she's in the pool. Tom said he's okay, but entertaining. Yeah, exactly. He's but some of his solo work is good. That just as a band, I just like that band. And for yeah, because they're kind of old school, and I think we need a little bit more of that old school and in what we do, and not all the wibbly diddly stuff. You mentioned the darkness. Like I'm trying to think like what embodies rock and roll guitar that comes forward. I mean, Steve Jones is my favorite. Trying to get a wall of sound like Steve for 40 years now. Failing. They're fantastic. Yes, indeed. Jethro Tull. I only know the hits of Jethro Tull. I don't know really their other stuff. It was before me, my older brother's generation, and didn't really speak to me. Martin Barry. I don't know. That's somebody I never really gave their due to. I will say this. I came across Jerry Reed's version of Georgia on My Mind the other day, and I just wanted to stop playing guitar altogether because it's so good. It's I don't know how his mind can conceive it. Like he learned to play by listening to Ray Charles playing piano. So his guitar playing is like Ray Charles's piano playing, and it has nothing to do with guitar playing. Like, so you have to actually throw out everything you know about guitar in order to play like Jerry Reed. And you also have to have an octopus hand and an octopus hand. I don't know how he does it, but it is so good. Georgia on My Mind by Jerry Reed. Just go check it out. Okay. Stacy's reason for in the pool. Gotcha. Yeah, we've relegated her, May. I know all the hits together. Ian Anderson does a flute on the Darkness song Cannonball. Very good. Jerry Reed was a badass. Jerry Reed, when you're playing with Chet Atkins or Glenn Campbell, and they're not the best guitar player on the screen at the time. Roy Clark, I always thought was a picker as well. He could just do stuff, and he played every instrument possible. But yeah, Jerry Reed, I know Tommy Emmanuel is a big like a disciple of his, but like he'll play his stuff and it's technically right, but it doesn't have the feel. And even Elvis, when he wanted to play, he wanted to do Jerry Reed's song Guitar Man, he had to call Jerry from a fishing trip and bring him into the studio because everybody was a flat picker and he was a finger picker and he had these weird tunings and everything else. Roy Clark was a god. Yes, he absolutely was, and he was on The Odd Couple once, which was good. He played Magdalena, and it was no joke. But like think of Hee Haw, like this kind of comedy show, and you've got Buck Owens and Roy Clark. That's like that's some heavy hitting right there. That's what you do. But see, this is the music edition of Marital Hate. It's right up my alley. I wish I had prepared more because I have so many. There's so many great guitarists and so many players that I'm on a kind of a George Harrison like rabbit hole right now. Just discovering stuff I'd never really heard, never listened to, or there's a lot of stuff that's been remastered. It's funny because he's obviously not the greatest guitarist in the world, but he is so different. Like he'll put chords together and things like that, and he's just genuine. Jaima doesn't is we. And Frank Boyd, I'm going to look that up. Frank Boyd Jr. Choices. That's who's Daniel's playing with. And I believe I said today, Tom, that I was an amateur wannabe or something like that. That's how I feel when I do these things. Like I can do some stuff, but not even like people are like, oh, it's so good. I'm like, I am ham-fisted at best. You'll have to do another night of this. We are all connected by some sort of music. Wow. And I don't, it's funny to me, like a lot of my newer friends don't know me as a musician because I haven't been playing live or haven't been like actively in a band or whatever until recently. Obviously, people have kind of changed a little bit on that. But for years, nobody knew me as a musician, but like they'd have a wedding and I'd jump up there and they'd be like, who's that? Because, it comes natural. That's just my thing. So, but yeah, music is, I was saying the other day, art, a piece of art, painting has never brought me to tears, but music has, and it's just different. It's in, but I'll paint you something. Maybe I'll paint you something that's so bad that'll bring tears to your eyes. But the and Tracy said she had no clue. I don't know. Did you see when we played acoustic at the old office in Pembroke? A lot of people that we figured out that we could do it. We're like, oh, let's do it, whatever. And so we played in front of a bunch of people, and I don't think anybody liked it when I said that my goal was to play in on a hot driveway for my coworkers in Pembroke, Mass. It's pretty funny. All right, so who's my favorite guitarist? Top 5 and why? I gotta go. I'm on my Jerry Reed kick. I can't even fathom how he plays. It's beyond my grasp almost, right? It's like kind of when you listen to like a Zappa or a Hendrix or all that stuff, it's like it's totally beyond your grasp. But you're like, okay, a guy did that. Whereas Jerry Reed plays his stuff, and it's like I don't think a guy did that. And there's probably better, like more technically proficient guitars. I would say Jerry Reed's up there. I think Prince is a huge favorite of mine. Obviously Hendrix. I love some of the punk players. I love the sound they get. I learned so much from them. So even the Boomtown Rats had good solos. To some of their stuff, like Mary of the Fourth Form, great solo, very short solo, but great solo. Favorite guitars. There's countless. Phil Manzanera is another one. Steve Cropper. Gilmore, Pete Townsend. Pete Townsend, I think, is an underrated guitarist. I said it. He wasn't even the best musician in his own band, but that band. All right, can I just stop this? Because the Who, you have probably the best bass player that ever played bass. You can keep your Jaco Pastorius, and I'll take Entwistle. If I'm picking teams, I'm picking Entwistle and McCartney on bass. Let's go. You're not gonna. I don't care what you say. Keith Moon is the best drummer of all time. Guy was a monster. And then you've got one of the greatest frontmen of all time, and you've got one of the greatest songwriters of all time in Townsend. That was unfair to other bands, yet they still weren't as popular as, say, a Led Zeppelin, who I don't like. There are many songs that have brought tears to my eyes. I can't listen to Change Is Gonna Come without, because I'm such a Sam Cooke fan. You did not see that in Pembroke. You'll have to buy the DVD from that. I was president of the Pembroke Chamber of Commerce for you. Nice. I don't know if you know my joke, Daniel, but why do I need a pencil? Because my pen broke. Comfortably numb. Second solo. Yeah, that's no joke. Gilmore is no joke. And I will say why, because Charlie asked why. When I look at guitar players, or I listen to guitar players, what makes them great? Do I know who it is from just listening to them, not seeing them? So Gilmore, certainly. Blackmore, certainly. Cropper, obviously. Jerry Reed, obviously. Prince, you would know. Hendrix, you definitely know. Just listen to but it's not like those players all had like Santana, you would know. And there's even some guitarists that like I wouldn't consider to be great guitarists, but you would know them just by listening to them and listening to their sound. But I think that's part of being like Joe Walsh. I think you would know. I think he's a great guitarist. I don't say that. The Who was great. Entwistle was off the hook. Yeah, indeed. Some of those isolated tracks that you see on it, and it's insane. Comfortably Numb. Yeah, good call on that. You're bringing up some amazing music. That's because we're talking shop. We're talking shop. I know I'm forgetting like about 900 people here. But there's some overrated guitarists that we could talk about. Oh, Jeff Beck, obviously. I can't believe I didn't even like, because Jeff Beck, that's like a fingerprint. His tone, the way he played. He didn't use like I yearned to do that. I yearned like just to be able to he becomes the music, and that stuff he did with Imelda May doing the Les Paul stuff back about 10, 15 years ago was outstanding. And Daryl Hyam is easily as good. Brian Setzer, another one that just makes me want to just stop playing. But some of those rockabilly guys, just unbelievable. But yeah, Jeff Beck. A lot of that longer form Beck Spolero stuff I wasn't really that into, but him as a player, oh my God, you got it. Like I'd put him top 3, easy, top 2, top 3. but the thing is, like everybody says about Hendrix, he became one with that instrument, and you didn't really see that before. But there's people before him that did the same thing, like setting a guitar on fire. Johnny Jenkins was one Otis was his singer in the Pine Toppers, was lighting his guitar on fire on the Chitlin circuit back in the day, and which makes me think of my friend Adam. Clayton solo on Let It Be, Clapton solo on Let It Be, Concert for George, for sure. And I think the thing, Clapton has gotten favorite lead man versus favorite band. That's a good question. Clapton had his moments. I think his stuff with Cream. I think the stuff with the John Mayall blues album was unbelievable. I think in the 70s he got a little lazy. But he's some of his playing is good. I think it'd be fair to say, if I don't know, Daniel, would you say that less than authentic, maybe, like when you listen to somebody like Albert King or whatever, like these true bluesmen or whatever, and you kind of take it from there. But there's some. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to throw him out of my band for sure, but I'll take Beck over Clapton any day. For sure. Jumping around. So Charlie, jumping around a bit, out of curiosity, favorite lead man versus favorite band. Favorite lead man. Well, I talked about Roger Daltrey before. I don't think you have rock and roll without Mick Jagger, even though he's like arguably not the greatest anything, right? But I can't imagine rock and roll without him, right? I think somebody like I think about the punk greats, Joey Ramone. You've got Billy Idol, great front man. You want him out there. Strummer, of course, wasn't really a front man because you had this barrage of people. It's tough to nail down a favorite of a lead man. But like if you're starting a band, if I'm starting a band, those are the people I'm going to. First and foremost, but front man is not an easy job. It's kind of hard, but I like when everybody's involved. I like a front man that plays guitar as well. So like you look at like Robin Zander, they have two guitar. That's a band, right? Just like some front man singing. And then obviously the best band is obviously the Clash. There's no discussion there. I think if you were to have a discussion, you might be able to talk about the Who being as influential and as awesome, and on a music level was fantastic. The Beatles, of course. I don't know if I would. I can't imagine rock and roll without the Stones, but I don't know if I put them in as greatest band. But maybe if they had. Maybe they've stopped after a certain point. I don't know. That's a good discussion on there. Anybody else have a favorite band? I have a favorite singer for sure, and that's Sam Cooke, because there was nobody that opened their mouth and better stuff came out ever, and that's not up for discussion. Can I ask Stacy her thoughts on trigger point injections? Do you know what a trigger point injection is?
Listen, I would go with other options before I went with trigger point injection.
I don't know if you can hear that. She would go with the other options before trigger point injections.
I'm not a fan of anything.
She's not a fan
of the pharmaceutical stuff because I find that the side effects are minimized. We don't look at the long term impact.
But
you gotta do what works for you. If you're aware of the
ramifications, rock out with your cock out. If you don't have a cock out, you might have something. Yes, you might have something resembling it in a drawer, and you could rock out with that.
It's funny because most people go whatever their doctor says, and then when that doesn't work, when the doctor's disappointed them 20 or 30 times, they start looking at alternatives. And I'm of the belief that you do everything that's non-pharmaceutical before you.
So she believes to do everything non-pharmaceutical,
including
before going to, including but not limited to anti-inflammatory diet,
physical therapy, yoga,
meditation, hippie stuff, cannabis
oil,
deep dicking. No, she didn't say that.
Chiropractic,
vitamin C, acupuncture, biomat.
Did I say kratom already?
Kratom.
CBD if you
CBD,
must. I don't really waste my time with that
CBGBs.
shit, but whatever.
Um,
But you gotta find what works for you.
Find
I
what
like a
works for you.
Unit, a
Tens unit,
good.
tens unit, it helps.
But I think like PT and stretching.
PT, stretching.
Yin yoga.
Yin yoga, she likes.
You like yin yoga?
I do like yin yoga.
Do you find
All right, we're getting back to our computer. You're going back to the pool. Thank you. I hope that's enough medical information for you. Here's one for you. Coco Montoya, former of John Mayall. I am not familiar with Coco as a individual, but I will look that up. That's a little bit before my time. Eric Clapton, crazy in the 70s when I heard the song Cocaine, Enough Said. He had, all right, so here's my beef with Clapton. He had a song called Rock and Roll Heart. That was a country song. You're going to talk about rock and roll, do a rock and roll song. Don't make a country song and talk about how you have this rock and roll heart. Next. Original frontman for Van Halen, David Lee Roth. That's a big negatory for me. Not a big fan of his. He was kind of the ultimate douchebag, but I get it. He was out there doing his ass clown thing and whatever. I'm not a big fan of that the band as a whole, but I get it. I mean, he was probably the best thing fronting that band that ever could have been. Tracy says thank you, and she's laughing her ass off. Change is going to come. Sam Cooke is done by Eric Lee Brumley. You can't get better than the original, Daniel. You just can't. But I will look it up. I'm going to consult that. And a lot of people have done very good versions of that song. And there's what Jennifer Hudson actually did this song, and it was very, very good. But I'll take that under advisement. But yeah, I get shivers just thinking about that song. Yes, she says. Eric Lee Brumley was a finalist on X Factor and was fronted my last band, Broken Chain Gang. Very good. Another Sam Cooke reference. Mr. Soul. Yeah, I'm I don't know if you know this about me, but I am obsessed with Sam Cooke. And it's funny because Sam music really I can just feel the tension leave my body when I listen to that guy's voice. And as Keith Richards said, when people listen to Sam Cooke, other singers want to just go back to pumping gas. And that's how I feel about playing guitar and listening to Jerry Reed. So I want to go back to pumping gas, which I never really did. So it'd be hard for me to go back to pumping gas. But that's it. So now it's 9:30, folks. You've been here listening to my input about music, and my opinions and my likes and dislikes. Although, now I see the Eric Clapton, I did that like after midnight thing that he did in the 80s with Steve Ferroni. Like that had like a vibe to it that I liked. A lot of rock and roll guys don't like that era of Clapton, but I'm like, all right, I'll listen to it. It's, but I don't think you should play lead guitar with a chorus effect on it. I don't care what decade it was or what amp you're playing through, as a proud owner of a Roland Jazz chorus as well. But my brother Steve has that. I haven't played through my jazz chorus in probably 20 years now. But that thing just sounds like water. You put your guitar through it. It's stereo. It's like water coming out of it. But all right, the sprinklers are on. That means it's gratitude time. I'm gratitude that I got to talk a little bit about music. I hope anybody enjoyed it. I got to play my own a little excerpt of me playing music, which is good.
Right. I am grateful that there's a man in the pool.
There's a man in the pool.
Allegedly, maybe, I don't know. I'm grateful for a surprise thunderstorm that made me laugh my fucking head off today. I am always grateful for my amazing husband. I am grateful for the nice lady at the airport, and I'm always grateful for our haters, and especially the master haters.
Yes,
you guys.
Indeed. I am grateful for all those things. And Archduke Charlie wish Dave well for me. I see him bobbing back and forth in the pool.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I have no idea what you're talking about. We don't know we're here. Can Stacy ask her friend at Vitamin C Chiropractic, or my Beach, Florida, about Scolibres, and let me know their thoughts. Scolibres. Do we know anything about Scolibres?
Can you cut and paste that?
Scolibres.
Or whatever it's called, message it to me and I'll send it to Christina.
Yeah, a private message that to her because she's in the pool. And
my chiropractor friend is sound asleep, but she was actually in the thread tonight. She was in the thread.
But yeah, we'll find out. We'll ask. No problem. It'll just a slight finder's fee, like $2-3, something like that. It'll be an easy copay for that. She says, got it. That's excellent. Well, I take cash, so that's all I'm talking about. And Tracy says thank you for
But
her
it's to the
Colibre.
contrary.
Don't take Colace by accident because that's a stool softener. I know that.
Take Colace, so you
Don't,
can-
or you can take Colace, whatever you like, whatever consistency
Whatever
you
it
would like
takes.
your bowel movements to be.
take it
We
to-
have
take it
we
to
have a
coconut
we have.
oil.
You could take coconut oil. You could take magnesium.
have
You
a
could-
beaver lick your anus.
You could have a beaver anus situation. Eat some pear jelly. I don't know. I don't look. Before we get sued, I don't think Jelly Belly puts beaver anus in their jelly beans. I don't think that's happening. But I do remember back in the like 80s, 90s when everybody was up in arms that like some fruit juice, like orange juice, whatever, this tropical, like it was colored with some sort of crushed up beetle, like something. Oh, it's terrible. Tracy, this is good news. She does not have shit issues. She just has shitty issues. Well, maybe it's time to get some new issues then.
Just let everybody
just,
know I made
you
a
know,
poop yesterday that looked like a manatee.
My wife just said that. No, I don't want to repeat
I
that.
made
That's
a poop yesterday
she
that
made a
looked like
poop
manatee.
yesterday that looked like a manatee. I hope it wasn't gray and bloated.
No, but it was bloated. I don't know how it came on my bottle. I'm concerned.
Guys, this is why this is yeah.
I thought I had quarter-inch plumbing, but it's apparently
She-
more like 4 inch.
She has she thought she had 1/4 inch plumbing, but it's much. And so Tracy said she is so proud of you.
I feel like I was at the Crisco disco.
She was not at the Crisco disco. There was no Crisco involved in the bowel movement at
No,
all.
but that's why
Um,
you have. I've been eating Coke. Barbara O'Neill says.
Barbara O'Neill says,
If you're
and if
gonna
Barbara
eat
O'Neill
meat-
says to jump off a building, Stacy's going to jump off a building.
Probably.
Said the guy who has yam cream on his testicles. Anyways, thanks for guys. I enjoyed this. I enjoyed being on my own here. I think we're gonna have to do this again because this crazy bitch. She's just all swimming around, whatnot. Had I known that, I would have prepared a little bit more. I would have had a
I'm
bit
trying to
of.
get you to prepare for the podcast since we started.
But I don't ever get to say anything, so I don't need to prepare anymore. But I like the random stuff. Oh, another factoid today before we go that they think that there is a breeding population of green anacondas down in the Naples area of Florida.
Fuck that.
So not only do we have these Burmese python situations getting up to 10, 20 feet long, whatever, we now have anacondas to deal with. So there's a great clip of Bugs Bunny sawing the state of Florida off and pushing it out into the ocean. That's what needs to happen with this state, just because we need to save. Like I'll stay on the floating island. Hopefully it floats, whatever. I will stay on the island, but as long as that, like, we don't want anacondas getting, like, it's just not good. So where's Bugs when you need him? And by the way, all of life's issues, there's Bugs Bunny has already addressed them in some way, shape, or form. The gun violence in the country. Maybe we just tie gun barrels in a bow. Seem to work for him. And then when people, the gunman shoots, hits him in the face. It's very simple, people. All you need to do is just follow the rules of the Looney Tunes situation. Anyways, thanks again, guys. I'm grateful for you guys. I'm grateful that she's got a friend to play with. I am grateful that I didn't have to cook dinner tonight. I'm grateful that I get to sleep in a little bit. No, I don't get. I keep thinking it's Friday night.
Put up with my shit.
I am grateful that I don't have to put up with your shit.
You're still gonna have to
Marital
put up
hate.
with my shit. I'm gonna put things on your head while you sleep. I might fist you in your butthole.
You heard it. She said she's gonna try and fist me in
I
my
might drown
sleep.
you.
If somebody fists you in your sleep, is that like sleep
Pepto-Bismol
rape?
in your butt crack again?
I don't know.
Do we have any Pepto-Bismol?
and,
I'll Instacart some.
Tracy says she's always grateful for the nights to be here, which is and see, since you're not here all the time, you appreciate it more. So there, I'm here every night, and maybe sometimes I appreciate it, and sometimes I don't.
Always appreciate
Well, we'll
it.
say that. Yeah, I keep thinking it's Friday night, but it's not. It's Thursday night, according to the sprinklers. So, anyways, guys, thank you for putting up with my brand of nonsense and talking, being nerdy about music. And we'll have to do another music episode at some point.